أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning to you all. Welcome to the seminar on family and women's rights on this occasion of the birth of our Holy Lady Fatemeh Zahra. I'd like to start off this occasion by inviting Sister Muzdalifa Muhammad from Mustafa International University for her to recite a beautiful verses from the Quran.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
name of Allah, most beneficent, the most merciful. They are those who fulfill their vows and fear a day whose evil will be widespread. And they give food in spite of love for it to the needy, the orphan, and the captive, saying, "We feed you only for the countenance of Allah. We wish not from your reward or gratitude." In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful. Indeed, we have granted you, O Muhammad, al-Kawthar. So pray to your Lord and sacrifice to him alone. Indeed, your enemy is the one cut off. Sadaqallahu al-Aliyyul Azim. Thank you, Sister Mazdalifa. That was beautiful. I'd now like to welcome Agha Pirani, the director of the Iranian Culture Center, to say a few words. Bifallah.
Dear sisters, Salam Alaikum. Thank you to each and every one of you for being here with us today. We are very pleased to be able to welcome you all here in this program. I would like to express my warmest welcome to the respectable guest, the National Chairperson of Jawakita Badwata, Mohammed Hanifa, the former Member of Parliament for Women, Mrs. Basiki Shahari, the wife of the ambassador, who is not here right now, the ambassador of the Islamic Republic of Iran, Mrs. Armandi, the chair lady of the Qudushias National Jamaat, Mrs. Fatemeh Zahra, and trustee at Shri Hindu Mahila Mandal, Mrs. Pushpa Shah, Director of Package of Initiative, Mrs. Khadija Umari, and Mrs. Kaniza Abbas Nagavi, who had a lot of efforts to set up this program, and Mama Fatemeh, who is well known to all of you. She has been like a mother for me and for all of my colleagues here. And to all of you, our dearest guests. It's a great honor to me to welcome you in this occasion. Welcome and thank you very much for coming. And last but not least, my wife, Narzia, the one who has supported me for more than 20 years. So I have to say, God has given me the greatest gift in the form of you. I'm blessed to have you in my life. It's my utmost honor to have you here. Welcome. As you know all, today is the anniversary of the daughter of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, Lady Fatemeh Zahra Salamullah Alayha. On this occasion, we are proud to be able to celebrate it today here with all of you. On this occasion in Iran, we celebrate this day as the Mother's Day and Women's Day. On this glorious day, let us open our heart and reduce distance to the paradise. Let the sea of love and affection flow at the feet of the mothers and lift the burden of sadness, congratulations, and gifts on their hearts. Let the heart of women be filled with the hope and in smile word and in simple words. Our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, says, "Kissing the mother's forehead is a refuge from the hellfire." The family is the most important institution in forming the foundation of society. Throughout history and in various religions, understanding the place of the family and knowing its role in society has been the main concern for the leaders of the societies. So today is the best day to review and discuss about the role of women in the family and how a family can improve and history will never forget him. And I would like to finish my words by telling ladies, when the world was created, you were also created to beautify it. Perfectly you have done your work. World is smiling for you today. I congratulate all of you and let the ladies to celebrate this occasion. Once again, I welcome you all and I hope you enjoy your celebration today. Thank you very much. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you, Allah Qurani, for that enlightening speech. That was wonderful. I would now like to call upon the former member of Parliament for Women, Sister Riziki Shahari. Please enlighten us with your few words.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Maybe I should say that I usually feel not very comfortable in speaking English when I'm told to talk anything about my religion. I feel like I'm not expressing myself enough to deliver the message that I have. But we'll move anyway, we'll speak, I think I will speak Swanglish, so I'll be mixing Kiswahili and English. I should start by thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the creator, who has chosen us today to be among his creatures with good health and be able to do what we have planned to do for today. I should also thank the director of the Iran Cultural Center, first for organizing this event, which is actually gives us memory of things to remember about what we have in Islam, but also for inviting me to be among those who are here today to celebrate this very special day. I didn't really prepare a speech because I was just told to come and say something. So I'll say something. It's about women, it's about family, but more especially it's about mothers taking the role model of Fatemeh Zahra, the daughter of our beloved Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. In Fatima we learn a lot. We learn as mothers, but we learn as women in general, that the women have all those different positions in societies, in families. The women are the mothers, women are the sisters, they are the mothers, they are the wives. And in all those different positions, women have a contribution to make to their family, but also to their society life. I always prefer to look at a woman as a mother, and therefore teacher number one to the family, and teacher number one to the society. Now, who is a good teacher that we need? What kind of a teacher does the Muslim society, does the Muslim Ummah needs? We need a teacher who goes with time. We need a teacher who's always ready to learn something new, to learn something useful. And here I would like to also speak in Kiswahili. Jamii yetu ya Kiislamu inapata changamoto siku zote, na anayewekwa mbele kwenye changamoto hizo ni mwanamke, na anawekwa kama mwanamke ambaye hajitambui, mwanamke yuko nyuma, mwanamke hana maendeleo, mwanamke yuko kwenye majumba siku zote, na kwa hiyo haendeani na hali halisi ya dunia. Kwa Waislamu hiyo sio picha sahihi. Uislamu, amri ya kwanza ambayo ilitolewa ni elimu. Tukaamrishwa kupitia kwa Mtume wetu Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam kutafuta elimu, na tukaambiwa kufanya hiyo ni faradhi, kwa hiyo ni lazima kwa muumini wa kiume na kwa muumini wa kike. Kwa hiyo haitarajiwi kuwa na mwanamke wa Kiislamu ambaye hana elimu. Haitarajiwi kuwa na mwanamke wa Kiislamu Kiislamu ambaye atashindwa majukumu yake, kwa sababu mwenye elimu siku zote hashindwi, na Allah anasema hawawi sawa wenye elimu na wasiokuwa na elimu. So today, as we celebrate Fatemeh's Day, we have in mind, or we have to have in mind, a lady who is knowledgeable, a lady who is educated, a lady who is capable to take all her duties. Na huyu ndo mwanamke wa Kiislamu, ndiye mama ambaye tunamhitajia kustahili. Ni mwanamke ambaye anajifunza siku zote. Na kwa nini anajifunza siku zote? Kwa sababu dunia yenyewe is dynamic, inabadilika kila uchao. Sasa leo tuna pointi moja tu ambayo ningependa kushare na nyinyi. Kuna darasa ambayo na attend kwenye Zoom ya dini. Kwa siku 3 hizi mfululizo tunafundishwa mada ya kumtambua Allah, kuwa na hofu na Allah. Lakini vipi mtu utakuwa na hofu na Allah kama huna elimu? Lakini kubwa alipoturejesha ustadha kwenye nafasi ya mwanamke, ikajadili ile swala letu sisi kina mama kwenye malezi. Adui yetu sasa hivi kitu kinaitwa mtandao, sijui internet or whatever we call it in English, but it's the mtandao, the biggest enemy ever now. What the ustadha told us, now they have, I don't know what they call it, whether it's a version or what they call it, an app within the internet that is used as heroin or something to change the youth's mind. It is in the mtandao. Kwa sasa hivi mama, wala usihangaike kwenye begi la mwanao, sijui kwenye mfuko wake wa suruali, mfuko wake wa skati, kwamba labda kaweka kimessage, kaweka kipati kina sigara, kina bangi, kina madawa ya kulevya. Madawa ya kulevya naambiwa yako mtandaoni kwa mujibu wa ustadha. So what they put, kwamba kuna program ambayo kijana anaingia pale, then kuna nyimbo, kuna message, kuna vitu vile vya kuibilisi vya kumshawishi. Mtoto anapotea huko. Shule haingii, Qur'ani ndio kabisa. Sasa hivi every now and then mtoto anaingia kwenye program ile. Yes, sisi wazazi kina mama tunajua. Do we check on our kids? Tunaona sifa kumnunulia leo na Samsung, wewe wana iPhone, we buy iPhone for him or her. Do we check what the kids are doing with their iPhones, with their Samsung mobile phones? That's where we have to go. Na sisi wanawake wa Kiswahili ndio tunaona sifa. Nyumbani mimi nitaka kuwasha TV na mtoto. Hebu niwashie mweka YouTube. YouTube la hafai. Weka kile na kile. Eti mimi sijui, mtoto ndiye anajua. That's not proper. Huyo si mama wa Kiislamu. Kwa mimi message kwa dada zangu wapenzi, kwamba as we celebrate Bibi Fatima, the mother of Sayyidina Hussein and Hassan, what position do we have? Do we have our Hassans? Do we have our Husseins? Sons and daughters that we can feel proud of? But we have brought up kids we can
inayoambatana na mazazi. Tunavyosherehekea siku ya mama duniani ambayo inaambatana We know a stepmother is like a mother. The husband goes to work. Why? He knows he has left the child in good care of a mother, regardless whether she is step or not. But this happened last week in Moshi. Last week. And there are many. This 26 kwa kweli mpaka mimi nikasema una nini, shetani gani? Shetani gani katuingilia? The husband goes to work. Therefore, wito wangu ni kwamba tufuate maamrisho na tujaribu kuishi kama Bibi Fatima. Bibi Fatima is very obedient to her husband. This 26 baba wake mume wake alikuwa walikaa vizuri pamoja na kwamba kulikuwa na ufukara, lakini what she did, she stuck to me and her family na watoto wake. Hasa mume wake alikuwa kawalea, walikaa vizuri. Sio leo wewe ukikosa maji, ile maji yale ya chupa mineral water yasimama, mama leo sijapata mineral water. There are some things that have to be hidden in your own family, between you and your husband and your family. Lakini siku hizi hakuna siri, siri zote ziko nje. Ndugu zangu, Bibi Fatima sio leo wewe mfano bora miongoni mwa wanawake wengi ambao wana mfano mzuri. Leo sijapata mineral water. In fact, I was not supposed to come here today. I had a meeting in Tanzania, and nimefurahi it has been postponed. So that's why I'm here. That's why I came today. And I'm happy to meet all of you. Otherwise, I wouldn't have. I know my friend from the Bohora community very well. I know my friend from the Hindu community very well. Now, this is called intra-faith. Intra. When only Muslims meet, regardless of their madhabs, that is, all of you, otherwise I wouldn't have. Therefore, there is interfaith and intra-faith. This is interfaith. Interfaith. This is called, and the Christian faith. But once, when we are among ourselves, when Muslims, it is intra-faith. Or when the Christians are among themselves, that is the Catholics, the Protestants, the Amish, therefore that is even among the Hindus. You have faith, I mean you have faith, different faiths. But you meet. You meet. Why? Because we want to bring peace and harmony in this place. I heard from Mr. Irani that today is also Ayatollah Khomeini Day. So I was reading there. Ayatollah Khomeini was born on 24th September 1902 in a village called Khomeini in Iran. And he died on 3rd June 1989 in Tehran. Before Ayatollah Khomeini, we had a king that in Iran. His name was somebody Pahlavi, Shah Iran. And his ideas were all Western. The women were just walking in a village called Khomeini, 3/4 naked. Western. And he died on he had Western ideas. So Khomeini, when he, after the revolution, the first thing he did was, he had three ideas. The first one was for women, hijab. Hijab for women. And that is why now, most of the Iranians and most of the Shia women, they are we balance family life and social life. We have to balance. So I said, alikuwa na nguzo tatu, three pillars when Ayatollah Khomeini came. Three pillars. The first one was hijab for women, which we are already. But before that, family life. And the second one was to oppose U.S. policies. So I said, and Israeli policies. That was the second three pillars. And the last one was Uchumi of Islam. The first one was Islamic for women, whereby there is no labor. We Muslims believe that there is no interest. So that is what and his dream did come true. U.S. policies alipoitwa kwa Allah and Israeli policies. Kwa hiyo ombi langu na wampeni na mnajua nimechukua muda mrefu Zainab anatazama sana believe that there is a king na sitapata tena nafasi nyingine kuzungumza na hili na wampeni tufuate maamrisho ya tufuate maamrisho ya mtume wetu Muhammad salam, tutaishi vizuri. Mama mheshimiwa Sami hapa kazungumza kwamba paradise lies under the feet of a mother, but you have to work for it. If you don't work for it, you will not get paradise. Baada ya hapo nasema asanteni sana, kila la kheri. Let us enjoy this day and follow what Allah has promised. Shukran na watakieni. Paradise lies under if you don't work for it, you will not get paradise. Sorry, I have to mix both the languages. Both the languages are very essential in this day. And follow what Allah has.
Imam Shamim, thank you so much for that powerful speech. I must say it was absolutely brilliant. And I also have to say that you have, mashallah, quite the achievements. So after this program, I'd like to come to you to get some insights, inshallah. Okay. Next in line, we have Sister Nergis Lilani and group for a short qasida. Imam Shamim, thank you so much for that powerful speech. I must say it was absolutely brilliant. And I also have to say that you have, mashallah, quite the achievements. So after this program, I'd like to come to you to get some insights. Next in line, we have Sister Nergis Lilani and group for a short qasida.
being as a woman is such an important thing. In our culture, we say this beautiful planet, Prithvi Mata. So let's celebrate being a woman and we remind ourselves being a woman is we also superpower. We can do anything we want. But sometimes we tend to forget how blessed, how powerful we are. And also other women like us, they are also blessed and powerful. And we remind ourselves to hold on to envy, also jealousy, we criticism, do anything like I want. But sometimes so we tend to forget that how blessed somehow also we are. In front of you. Also other women like us, they are also blessed and powerful. And we remind ourselves to hold on to envy, jealousy, as soon as meeting we criticism, do anything like I want. But sometimes so we tend to forget how blessed it is somehow we are. No, it's not helpful. Whatever you should be courageous. You should have moral courage to speak the truth. There is nothing bad in it. Why backbiting? It gets us down and it spoils our name as a woman. It's not a good thing or it's not a virtue. The main thing, we should not compete or compare with one another. Instead, we should compete with ourselves. We should strive to be a perfect or example for others. We can guide them. And my journey was like that. When I joined Lions Club, as Shamim Khan told us, there are so many opportunities to serve. In real meaning, we can serve. And especially nowadays, when society needs you, when there are so many problems. If you visit one orphanage in Dar es Salaam, far away, I have seen so many children who are hungry for days. We prepare food for them and we serve.
Within 5 minutes, they finish their food. And if you ask, do you want another portion? They are ready. So this is also make us something important. We are blessed with everything. And look at those children. They don't have one time meal. And it makes you kind, humble. Then you know the value of your life, and how blessed we are all. So social services doesn't mean that we neglect our home. In our Gujarati we say, Tirat Padine Jatra na karay. That means you can't ruin your home front and go for social services. It's not. We, as a mother, as a sister, as a wife, we have to look after our family first. But if you get support from your family, it's easy. Not neglect. They are not criticizing you. They are supporting you. So there is a positive vibration. And this positive vibration creates confidence and faith in ourselves. We create ourselves like this. We are not born with abilities. We are not born with qualification. We are not born with great virtues. We learn and we proceed accordingly. Whatever challenges are there, we are trying to face. Life is not about being rich. Of course, we need money. It's not about highly educated, but really we need education. It's not about very famous. Everyone wants to be famous. But life is about being kind, humble, and real. Don't pretend yourself. I know something, I know everything. No, we are all not perfect. Try to learn. When you go and mingle with societies or other women, try to learn. Something is always there. Something positive is always there. And we should learn from each other. We should not let down those who are not able like us. You try to teach them. You try to encourage them. You try to compliment them. And in a way, they will be your friends. They will be your like even my students. When I teach religion at our community, they really understand the value of religion, of moral aspects and ethical values when they go to Western countries. And they call me, they thank me. Yes, now I understand what the religion is, what the values are, what the morality is. So it's beneficial. Whatever you put, it always grows. But root is our family. We start from our family. So a long tree survives with their roots. But roots are not visible. We are not visible. As a mother who says we are important. Very few men you heard here say, yeah, you are great. You are doing very good work as a mother or as a wife. Because our society is still dominated by men. But when our own children being successful in so many fields, like we are proud of, we are head of country, is a lady. So it's a compliment to every woman, and it's an encouragement for every woman. That we should try to be like her. At least we can go up. We can't go down. And don't let down anyone. That's a very bad thing. By lending helping hand, you will find that the moments that stand out are the moments when you have done things for others. So don't be selfish. The problems and needs of people are limitless. So are our opportunities. Even on, we can't help each and everyone everywhere. But we can help someone somewhere with something. So keep in mind, try to follow, and we pray to God to give us strength to give us good vibrations, to give us positive attitude, and we do something for others. Let us share universal blessings. Let the whole universe be blessed. Let everyone be engaged in one another's well-being. Especially in this present situation, let's pray for everyone happy, healthy, peaceful, and peaceful life. Amen. Thank you very much, Asangasana, and I am really grateful to my friend Kanis to inviting me as a speaker to this Iranian Culture Center, and I am really very humble. I am thankful for everyone in the audience, and there is my friend also. There is my very good friend, and she said as they are not limited to a certain crowd. We should, our field is very wide, so we will welcome each and everyone, and I am really, really very glad and humble to be here as a speaker. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mustafa, and that was absolutely amazing. I think I'm actually lost of words. I don't have anything to say because that was so beautiful. But I think one thing that all of us will agree to hear is that your aura actually spoke energy. It spoke so much that, I don't know, I have nothing to speak. So thank you so much for that. Next on the agenda, we have a qasida by Kauthar and her sister. They're also known as the Banjatan group.
بمحورها بإيجادها تسوق كل منكما وكل زوجما كل من تكون المصطفى أبوها كفى ولها الوفا أصول يا زهرة 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 يا فاطمة يا فاطمة يا فاطمة فاطمة علي أيمن فاطمة علي محمد فاطمة علي قرآن يا رويا فاطمة فاطمة علي أيمن أمي علي محمد فاطمة علي قرآن يا رويا فرحمد تؤكدي غبار الشويا تجانجي من بتوية الجويا تؤكدي غبار الشويا تجانجي من بتوية الجويا أمي جدلها قربان زهرة أمي أبيها زهرة منم جداية شهد فدايا منم زهرة أمي جدلها قربان زهرة أمي أبيها زهرة منم جداية شهد فدايا منم زهرة فاطمة قلب الخنبر فاطمة زمن برتر فاطمة سورة كوثر زهرة جن مدديكو فاطمة قلب الخنبر فاطمة زمن برتر فاطمة سورة كوثر زهرة جن مدديكو تؤكدي غبار الشويا تجامعي رمبتو يدرجويا تؤشكدي غبار الشويا تجامعي رمبتو يدرجويا أمي جدلها قربان زهرة أمي أبيها زهرة منم جداية شوت فدايا منم زهرة أمي جدلها قربان زهرة أمي أبيها زهرة منم جداية شوت فدايا منم زهرة فدايا منم زهرة فدايا منم زهرة Who should you give my love to, my respect and my honor to? Who should I pay good mind to after Allah and Rasulullah and Waliullah? Comes to your mother, who next your mother, who next your mother, and then your father. Cause who used to hurt you and clean you and clothe you, who used to feed you and always be with you, and when you were 6 days up all night, hold you so tight. That's right, no other, my mother. Say Alhamdulillah, thank you Allah, for my mother. Salawat.
MashaAllah, that was absolutely beautiful. I'd now like to welcome Sister Maryam Al-Bandi, who is the wife of the ambassador of the Islamic Republic of Iran.
الله الرحمن الرحيم إنا أعطيناك الكوثر فصل لربك وانحر إنا شانئك السلام عليكم
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
As a wife of ambassador of Iran, I want to say welcome to all of you. Most welcome today here. And as we know, we are gathering here to celebrate the biggest day in the year, which is the birthday of Fatemeh Zahra, the daughter of Peyghambar, the messenger of God. We know everything about her, so just the important things is to know little things about her life and everything she was believing, and now we have to learn that and know in our life. I want to say solid Iranian solid that is show my happiness because of this day. آب زنید راه را که بهار میرسد مژده دهید باغ را. If I want to translate it to the English, maybe I cannot say my sense, exactly my sense with this, but I think in Persian it's better to say my sense, my feelings because of this day. As we know, Fatemeh Zahra is created at the time that was the darkness, the very darkness, and emerged of full of darkness on that time, that they know the girls as a shamed and they buried the ladies. By creator, Fatemeh Zahra, Aliha, Siddiqatul Kubra, God sent this message that the ladies can be the greatest people in the world. So God made her as the master of all ladies in the world. Not on the time, Imam Sadiq stated that someone asked him, is the greatest lady in her time? He said, no, Maryam, daughter of Imran, was the master of the ladies on that time. But Fatemeh Zahra is a master of ladies from the whole world, from the beginning until the end. He was born on the 20th of Jamadi with a noble Khadija mother and messenger of God, Prophet Muhammad. That's kind of very good because let's talk about her role in society, in family, in her life. Look a little about that. Fatemeh Zahra was married with Amir al-Mu'minin Ali alayhi salam, and she made her rule as a wife of the second person after Prophet Muhammad in the best way. She knows Amir al-Mu'minin is the one who is his role is very important in society. So always she was be with him and depends on him, and she tried to defend of Valaya to give it to the person who is take the wilayah. And also, out of that, she was entered to the meeting of Ansar and Muhajirin to say everything about the wilayat of Ali alayhi salam and defense of their power, their rule, their and his father, his husband. Also in her room, in her family, in her house, she was the best lady. She was the best woman for Ali alayhi salam because she knows that Ali's house is a very important house at that time. She has to protect her husband. She has to be a good wife because she knew that the jihad of lady is to satisfy their husband. So she never tell lies. She never make angry the Ali alayhi salam. She never go out without permission of him. And the Amir al-Mu'minin was very delighted because of his wife. And he said, Fatemeh never made me angry, and always I was happy with her in home. And the house of Fatemeh was full of beauty and holiness because she tried to keep it like that. Because she believed that in Islam, the duty of lady is to keep the house, keep the family, keep the life for children, must be the important things for a woman. And any woman who has to, any woman who wants to go to the heaven must, after do his duty as a fast, pray, everything. If they do that very well, they can go, they have a permission from Fatemeh Zahra to go to the heaven. So, we can understand how is important the creation of Fatemeh Zahra for society, for Islam to give the value to the woman, to the world. Not only on that time, but only in the whole the world and all the times. And Fatemeh did it. Fatemeh did it by do the best in her life. The name of Fatemeh is one of the name of Fatemeh is Muhaddisa. That means when she was at home, the messengers and the angels from the sky come down and talk to her. And because of that, they call it Muhaddisa. The other name is Zahra. Zahra means when she was standing to the mihrab to pray, her light was like stars on the moon, was so light. That's why they call it Zahra. And the important thing is to know our duty is to be like Fatemeh Zahra, to obey his life, to obey his her beliefs, and continue her way in any part of our life. To keep children, as we know, she has 5 children. She grew them in the best way and give it to the society, and we know everything about that 5 children. No need to explain more. And we have to obey her. We have to learn how she how she was alive and how she lived with her husband and do her duty as a lady in society and protect his father. As we know, Prophet Muhammad called her, she's my mother, she's Abiha, because she was always keep her father. After Khadija passed away, Fatima was the one who protect her father. So Prophet Muhammad called her as a Abiha. And as we say in the home, she was the best mother for children. She was the best wife for Amirul Mu'minin, and we can obey her and learn how to live, to look at her life. So the salam and the peace of all people, good people and angels to her, and happy her birthday. And I want to read a part in Persian because if I want to translate it to the English, I cannot give my sense as it. I think some of you know Persian, so it's not bad to listen to this. It's about Fatemeh Zahra. موجها نامت را بر صخره‌ها نیز حک می‌کنند. قهرمان حق در خلوت خاموش خود نام تو را الگو قرار می‌دهند. فاطمه یعنی سلام خدا، نام تو یعنی بهار وجود، نام تو مهربانی است که نثار وجود پیروانت می‌شود. ای راهنما و رهبر زنان دو عالم، عفت و نجابت را هدیه کن به نام خود. ای صدیقه طاهره، نام تو حتی لاله ها را در دشت مهربانی به شور زندگی وامی دارد. نام تو کوثر خدا و همتای علی است. تو خورشید رسالت و ماه ولایتی، ای که نام تو چشمه پاکی و طهارت است. نام تو همان کوثر است که تو را خطاب می کنند. نام تو همان چشمه پاکیزه معرفتی است که نامت را از آن الهام گرفتند. ای مظهر دلدادگی و خداپرستی، میلاد مسعودت مبارک باد. ممنونم. Thank you all of you. And forgive me because I wasn't ready, so I had some headache, so I couldn't make ready something to say. So if there's a mistake because of my poor English, so sorry. I apologize. Thank you.
Asante.
Thank you so much, Sister Mariam. I think that was beautiful. We now have a video by Sister Shayda Nikoravin, who's the producer and the director of the documentary Hijab Without Borders. Can we play that, please?
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وبه تعالى نستعين إنه خير ناصر ومعين. السلام عليكم everybody all over the world. I am Shayda Nikoravin from Islamic Republic of Iran. I choose the importance of hijab in society as the target of my speech today. In short, the main reason for including the issue of hijab in Islam in our here Islamic law is to support women in their social contributions. Hijab acts as a light license for a woman in their social activities in society. Otherwise, there was no need to any covering and any hijab. So it means that Islam supports our social activities. In other words, Islam supports the effective presence of women in society. I am a university lecturer, a producer, director, and also documentary filmmaker, and I teach at the university with this job, and I travel all over the world. I want to explain more about it with bringing some simple examples I want to share with you. But first of all, before that, I want to ask you a question. What is the question? Have you ever noticed that when a woman appears in public with seductive appearance, she attracts the attention of others? When I say others, I don't mean only men. Also, what make women pay attention to her. And it is true for men. Also, if men have any seductive appearance, they 100% attract others' pay attention. And if she wants the same path the next day while wearing hijab without any bad appearance, without any makeup, few people notice her. Everybody is busy with his or her works. At the end, she also herself realizes that she has more social security. In other words, we determine how others behave us. It means that people's behaviors relates to our behaviors and our appearance and vice versa. So let me tell you the story, a real story. On the 6-hour flight from New York City to Los Angeles, a black gentleman was sitting beside me. It was at night. He took the control of TV. Every channel he brought was showing dance, music, and very bad scenes. But he, at the same time, was very anxious. You know why? Because I was wearing the hijab. I covered myself. And he knew that with this wearing hijab, I wanted to create a privacy for myself that not only he, but no one else is allowed to violate that privacy by watching the footage of naked girls and women. He changed the channels, but he could not find any good program. So he had to turn off the monitor and stop watching TV. This sacred verse came to my mind. Then Allah says in Surah Al-Ahzab, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يا أيها النبي قل لأزواجك وبناتك ونساء المؤمنين يدنين عليهن من جلابيبهن ذلك أدنى أن يعرفن فلا يؤذين وكان الله غفورا رحيما. It means, O Prophet, tell your wives and your daughters and the women of the faithful to draw closely over themselves their chadors when they're going out. That makes it likely for them to be recognized and not be in trouble. And Allah is all forgiving, all merciful. Also, I remember when I was making one of my documentary films in the US, I asked a well-American girl, how do you feel about wearing hijab?
was so interesting to me. Pretty interesting to me too. She said, we as Muslim girls in our hijab are like mobile boxes in the US. I asked how. She said, when people look at well girls, they remember Allah. Like when they look at the mosque and its minaret, they remember God. They remember Allah. Dear sisters and brothers, during another trip to the West, one of the flight stewards paid a very special attention to me because of my hijab while she was in charge of another part of the airplane, not where my seat was. She asked me, are you a religious woman? I said, how? She said, because your blonde black dress made you a Christian nun, like a Christian nun. I said, you're right. And I didn't see the statue of respected Mary and her followers and her friends without hijab. I told her that the hijab is in the law based on all divine religions, even in Judaism and Christianity. When you travel to the United States or some part of Canada, you will see some people who are called Amish. You can Google Amish and you can find the photos of Amish. Who are Amish? They work in agriculture industry. They are Christians, and their wives and daughters wear headscarves, long dresses. They strongly believe that their children should get married on time. The sons of these families often get married at the age of 18 or to 20, and the girls become mothers at the age of 14 to 16. They are very wonderful because they believe if boys and girls remain single, sin will increase in society and social harm will increase subsequently. So the health of society depends on the spiritual health of people living in the society. Sisters and brothers, many people in our country, in Iran and other countries all over the world, they realize the necessity of having hijab and pay a heavy price for achieving it. One of my friends in Sweden, she is a dentist. She earned the highest in scientific interviews, but she was rejected because of wearing Islamic hijab. After filing a case to the Swedish anti-discrimination organization, the head of the hospital was forced to hire her, but she was told she could not work with long sleeves actually, and she found the solution herself. She said she used extra plastic long sleeves, but the head of the hospital, who was a Zionist woman, objected. She said the law does not say that you can use the plastic sleeves. And my friend had to file a case to the anti-discrimination organization again, this time against the hospital and its management. You know what happened? Actually, the judge issued the sentence in favor of the hospital and ordered my friend to pay a heavy fine, and she paid it. But it's very interesting to let you know that she is currently as the deputy director of the large dental clinic in Sweden. Of course, treats its patients while using long plastic sleeves. So there is a question. What makes them the fear of a piece of cloth on top of our head? Sisters and brothers, remember that woman compromising is half of any society, but in fact they are reflection of progress in a society, since their contribution in the family and community is wisely and calculated. Those who want to control the society by developing individualistic and liberal thinking say, if we make the women of the society irresponsible, thoughtless, make them wandering in the streets and shops and malls, and teaching them feminist ideology, the family will fall apart. And when there is no family, religious and moral values are not passed on to the next generation. So they targeted the modesty of woman, and innocent mother does not raise a good child. So we will not have loyal soldiers to defend the borders of our country in the future. These young people do not acquire the marriage skills and cannot be good mother and father. So you saw that when a social status called motherhood and marriage is challenged, human societies face a moral, economical, and political recession and crisis. She said, with the fall of the Berlin Wall, we came to the West Berlin and saw a mosque for the first time. Then I thought, as a Muslim girl, I should be a good representative of Islam, the Prophet of Islam and his family. Thank you for paying attention to my speech, and I hope we can be good representative for Islam, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and also his family. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
That was a super eye-opening speech. I'd now like to call upon Sister Khanisa Fatemeh Zahra, who is the chair leader of the Ladies Managing Committee of the Khoja Shia Isna Ashri Jamaat. Respected dignitaries, esteemed guests, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May peace be upon you all. Since morning, we have been listening to different aspects of a woman's life in the light of Fatemeh Zahra. When talking about the greatness of a personality, one needs a yardstick to compare the strengths and weakness of that individual. However, if that person herself is the highest yardstick, then it makes it impossible to adequately describe her greatness. Sayyida Fatemeh Zahra was such a personality. I would like to thank the Almighty, first of all, and the host of today's programs for giving this opportunity to say a few words on the life of this great woman, who I very proudly take as a role model in each and every aspect of my life. Her merits, they are unmatched by any woman known in history,
And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala testifies in the Quran himself about her purity and her piety. Traditions from the Prophet and verses of the Holy Quran are sufficient as a proof to par the excellent personality of this great woman. Fatemeh Zahra, she was no ordinary woman, and neither was her home an ordinary home. Imam Khomeini has been reported to have said, the home of Fatemeh Zahra, quote, "This was the smallest and the simplest house in Medina, but had the longest and the most profound impact on the world. It is only when the world opens their windows and studies about this household will mankind be impacted by it." Dr. Ali Shariati, in his book Fatima is Fatima, says, "The value of Mary ties with Jesus Christ, whom she delivered and nourished. The value of Asiya lies with Muhammad, whom she befriended, with Fatima, and whom she gave birth and nourished. And the value of Fatima, what can I say? To whom does her value belong? To Khadija? To Muhammad? To Ali? To Hussein? To Zainab? And I wanted to begin in this manner with Fatima." He says, "I got stuck. I wish to say, Fatima is the daughter of the great Khadija. I sensed it was not Fatima. I wish to say, Fatima is the daughter of Muhammad. I sense it's not her. I wish to say, Fatima is the wife of Ali. I sense it's not Fatima. I wish to say, Fatima is the mother of Hassan and Hussein, Zainab and Kulthum. I sense it's not her. No, all this is true. None of them are Fatima. To whom does her value belong then? Fatima is Fatima all by herself." Women can play many roles in a society. In an Islamic society, women can fulfill several individual and collective responsibilities in different spheres and under different conditions too. However, many of these roles and responsibilities are not set mandatory by the teachings of Islam, and these often reflect personal effort, attributes, and talent on the part of woman herself. Today's modern technology, with all its sophisticated tools available for knowledge, making life easier, and high-speed communication, cannot be compared with the life and the times of Prophet of Islam and those who lived with him at that time with harsh physical and socio-political environment in Arabia. One can easily appreciate that performing various intellectual pursuits such as seeking knowledge, imparting education, training, communication, even living a normal life was in no way comparable with today. Fatima was known as Sayyidatun Nisa'i Alameen, the chief of all women, the chief of women of all the worlds, not one world, Alameen, of all the existing worlds. Let us now step inside the blessed home of Fatima and look at some points from her aspect. She fulfilled very many roles. However, I would like to highlight a few aspects from her life. Her role as a teacher and a mentor. Her role as a very talented teacher can be seen in her training of her sons Hassan and Hussein and her daughters Zainab and Kulthum. Lives of these great personalities need no words of introduction. The incidents of Imam Hassan and Hussein teaching wudu to an elderly companion of the Prophet in a manner that did hurt his self-respect highlights many aspects of her mastery of teaching not only Islamic fiqh, not only Islamic jurisprudence and upbringing, but also as an example of expert of practical ethics and morals. One can imagine high level of depth, observation, her behavior imparted to her children in the areas of ethical conduct. let's come to the other part of her life where we all can relate to, especially living in this part of the world. Her role as a master of her maidservant, Fiza. Her role as a master to the maidservant bestowed to her by Prophet of Islam is yet another example of her multidimensional role that she played as an active and compassionate Muslim woman. Not going into the details, we cannot find a single housemaster who would take turns every other day with her maidservant in household work, do we? Let's be honest with ourselves. So, one day, Hazrat Fatemeh will do the household work, while her maidservant, Fiza, would take rest. Wow, hard for us, right? This unique routine in the midst of hardship in the life of Muslims in Medina, where in 10 years when the Prophet was present in 27 battles, and her husband, Imam Ali, was present in many more, being away from the house, how could a housemaster allow this alternate day house chores under such dynamically adverse lifestyle of her husband and her father? Except that she had a strong sense of human values and human rights to its utmost level. She also had communal responsibilities. We cannot limit the life of Fatemeh living in a house and grinding food. That was not Fatemeh. Her role and responsibilities towards the members of society were such that one can easily appreciate from the history as to how she spent different duties towards different members of the society in the time that she was living in. She was seen giving away her own marriage dress, jewelry, food, and other material possessions to the needy Muslims whenever required. Food for us to ponder, right? How much do we gather? And how much are we ready to give the best of what we have? Not only towards Muslims, but she also performed her similar role as a helper and supporter whenever required towards followers of other religions too. She fulfilled her social responsibilities to the utmost level of self-sacrifice, and not seeking any thanks or returns, only as a duty towards God and His religion. Again, food for thought. Where do we find ourselves when we give charity? We do give something to others when we help others. Do we look for our name to be there? Or are we following role models like her? MashaAllah, many women sitting here are of high level taking responsibilities and social workers. Let's see at that time how she held her responsibilities. Her role as a voluntary social worker in the ways of Islam can be seen helping the Muslim army, performing a role as a nurse, consoling the families that had lost their dear ones, helping needy and orphans, irrespective of her own needs and difficult situation. The door of her house was always open towards anyone seeking remedy of his or her needs. This great lady Fatemeh performed role of a distribution manager. Today we are proud we have women into business world, in the corporate world. She has taught us how to manage ourselves 1400 years back. She managed the wealth obtained from her, the land of Fadak that she had, and other properties gifted to her by her father, Prophet Muhammad. This wealth was distributed by her according to the principles taught to her by the Prophet to needy Muslims and families of orphans and widows who were martyred in the battles. Her role is yet another bright aspect of her personality as a manager of revenues and its distribution to the needy according to the principles of Islam. Hazrat Zahra on several occasions performed her role to emphasize women's modesty and her preservation of Islamic modest dress, the hijab. And just a while ago, we heard from that lady the importance of hijab. However, the point worth pondering here is that women can perform their social activities and play their role actively in society while behaving modestly, and it is no way a hindrance for a woman. The multidimensional personality of Fatemeh Zahra is an illuminated example for today's Muslim women, not only living in Islamic society. A woman can be at the same time a good mother, a daughter, a wife, a teacher, a mentor to her children, a voluntary social worker, a distributor of wealth and property, a compassionate housemaster, a model of self-sacrifice to give away her possessions, a promoter of Islamic modest dress, modesty for women, a mujahida in the time of war and supporter of Muslim army, and abida, the one who worships, praying to God in night, and much, much more. Setting Hazrat Fatemeh Zahra as a role model, a woman can perform all these roles under any circumstances. Whether the society is at peace or at war, whether there is economic material hardship, and when the only hope that she looks up to is in God. Life of Hazrat Fatemeh is certainly a bright guiding star under all circumstances for the women of this world. She valued learning and understood about the importance of acquiring knowledge. She treasured books very much and shared whatever she knew, never getting tired of answering questions. Therefore, we ask ourselves, what is our role? Our role is to continuously strive to acquire knowledge, share it, and to always remember, just like Pushpa, I can recall, even she said, we are a society of compassion and there is no comparison or competition within ourselves. As a teacher, being brought up by the Holy Prophet, known as Madinatul Ilm, and in the company of her husband, Ali ibn Babuha, it is easy to understand why she was highly enlightened with the knowledge of Quran and the Islamic laws. She was the first Muslim woman teacher who made time, despite all her duties, to gather all the wives of the believers and teach them principles of their religion, narrate the sayings and traditions of her father. These contributions must have taken place from a very young age, since she died at a very young age. So, the message for us, Muslim women who have been encouraged to learn and ask what they do not know of the Sharia, and then play our part in whatever capacity that we can. May this auspicious occasion of the birth of the Lady of Light be blessed for you and your families. The example of daughter of Prophet Muhammad will always be a model of how women can be true servants of Almighty in any sphere of life. Thank you so much for listening, and may Allah guide us all. Thank you.
Please, thank you so much for that beautiful speech. It was amazing. I'd now like to call upon Khanum Kaniz Nakwi, who's also a keynote speaker, to say a few words. Please.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين خاتم النبيين صاحب طه وياسين محمد مصطفى صلى الله عليه وآله
صل على محمد وآل محمد وأجل فرجه.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Felicitation and salutation to the Imam of our time and ulama and the lover of the truth and justice on the occasion of the birth anniversary of Sayyida Fatemeh Zahra salamullahi alayha, the beloved daughter of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Eloquent speakers before me have spoken various issues, and among the discussion a very important message on family bonding. I would like to add on this important matter on family bonding and to get lessons from the life of the Lady of Light, Hazrat Fatemeh Zahra, salamullahi alayha. Bonding in the family. How the bonding starts? Bonding in the family starts. Get the lesson from Bibi Fatemeh and Mawla Ali alayhi salam. That whenever we gather to hear about the personality, it's not only to hear about the life history, but to derive lessons from their lives and implement in our lives. That would be the true meaning of celebrating and pondering on the life of the particular personality. Family bonding starts with marriage, and the most perfect marriage we see is that of Imam Ali alayhi salam and Lady Fatemeh alayhi salam. We see that firstly there were contentment and satisfaction in their lives. That would be the first lesson to take, that we have to be satisfied whatever we have. We need to be grateful to Allah and stop comparing the relationship of other people's relationships. Secondly, marriage from the perspective of Imam Ali alayhi salam and Lady Fatemeh is to reach the Almighty I Am, and that I Am was good. What was the I Am? Ultimately, I Am was Allah. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was the I Am of them. Thirdly, we are human beings, and we have to treat each other as human beings. When Bibi Fatemeh alayhi salam asked Imam Ali alayhi salam, have I wronged you? Have I ever gone against you? Imam Ali alayhi salam replied by saying, I have found you to be the most perfect, most pious person. Likewise, Imam Ali alayhi salam said, I have never angered you, and that is the element of humanity within the marriage. This is the cooperation in perfect marriage. We also need to have a communication between the two. Husband and wives have to communicate each other. The central theme marriage of Imam Ali alayhi salam and Bibi Fatemeh alayhi salam was Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Fatemeh alayhi salam was a perfect human being. The highest, but if we want to see the perfection, the highest form of the perfection is Allah. That is what we learn from them. Remember, Bibi Fatemeh alayhi salam is our role model. We get this from the Imam of our time. He beautifully states that my role model is my mother Fatemeh. And you remember the narration that Mahdi is one of the sons of Fatemeh. So loving Fatemeh is to take lesson from Fatemeh. Loving Fatemeh is to ensure that the value of Fatemeh manifested in our lives. Loving Fatemeh is to ensure that you stand for what Fatemeh stood for. We want to appreciate the life of this great personality. When we examine the life of Sayyida Fatemeh Zahra salamullahi alayha from the humanitarian approach, you will realize
that Sayyida Fatemeh is the epitome of humanity. Whoever wants to learn humanity, if you are looking at the door to knock the door of Fatemeh Zahra, and there are so many phases of humanity in the life of this great lady. And we know the phase, and the importance of mentioning this is to remind us to go out there and represent the Lady of Light. The first verses are the verses which you heard from Sister Mudrafa, who recited from Surah Al-Insan, verse number 7, 8, and 9. You all know the event about it, so I'm not going to talk about it. The first stage was asking from Allah to cure Imam Hassan and Imam Hussain alayhi salam. And when what the vows they asked for? They said that we'll fast, when it's still going to be all right, we'll be fine. So when they were about to break their fast, they were tested by Allah. And needy came to the house and asked for something. They sacrificed what they had to break the fast and give the needy. That's an epitome of humanity. In the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Yufuna bin nadri wa yakhafuna yawman kana sharruhu mustatira. They fulfill their vows and fear the day whose evil will spread far and wide. وَيُطْعِمُونَ الطَّعَامَ عَلَى حُبِّهِ مِسْكِينًا وَيَتِيمًا وَأَسِيرًا. And inspire us to follow by giving of their own to the poor for love of Allah, the orphan and the captive. And then what else? إِنَّمَا نُطْعِمُكُمْ لِوَجْهِ اللَّهِ لَا نُرِيدُ مِنْكُمْ جَزَاءً وَلَا شُكُورًا. We feed you, we give you food only for the sake of Allah, we don't want any thanks, any reward for this. So this is the trend of humanity from Bibi Fatemeh. Bibi Fatemeh is selfless. She went out and then sacrificed by giving whatever she had. Also important for the sake of humanity is kin and neighbor. Fatemeh was selfless. So if we see that Imam Hassan alayhi salam is narrating that I saw my mother praying, and her praying was only for her neighbors, then I asked, Mom, why not us? What she replied, my mother said, others first, then ourselves. That's the example of humanity. Today, we are gathered here for Mother's Day and Women's Day. So let me speak about a mother. Mother love is a specific kind of love. Her love is the strong love that we can fall into when we are stressed, stretched, and uncertain, and feeling like we just can't handle what's happening in our life. Mother is the greatest gift to a child by Allah. It's a mother who always loves her children without expecting anything from them in return. She does anything to protect her child. She does not only morally support a child, but also prepares a child to be a better person in life. After Allah, it's our mother who has the most special place in our hearts and lives. Not only we need our mother's place, but even our prophets did. For example, as we all know, Hazrat Moses used to go to Mount Sinai. And one day when Prophet Musa left, Allah took away his mother. When Musa is going, Allah said to Musa, "Oh Moses, today when you are walking, be careful. Take your steps as the person who used to pray for you, who used to do dua for you, is no more. Oh Musa, your mother has passed away." So this how is the mother. And mother love is unique. Once a hunter was going to hunt. Mother duck told the hunter, "Do me a favor, you are going to hunt. Please don't hunt my child." The hunter answered, "There will be so many ducklings. How will I know who is your child?" So the mother duckling replied, "The most beautiful one is my child." So the hunter went and hunted. As he was coming back with the duckling, The mother duck told the hunter, "He did not do fair. You did not do good. You killed my child." The hunter replied, "You told me the most beautiful child, and what I hunted was the most ugliest duck." Mother duck said, "You should have looked with the mother's eyes. As for the mother, her child is the most beautiful." So see, this is the mother and prophet. Everybody on Palestine said that mother, what is the mother? So mother is that we should appreciate our mother. And now the discussions about women empowerment have been at the forefront. And this has been a concern because it has been ages that women have been living in this male-dominated society. But now the struggles and problems are being weaponized. These points are further highlighted when women in relatively are getting better positions than others are also echoing the same. The struggles women face right from being a child is unimaginable. Little girls are denied education while their brothers don't encounter such denials. The reason for this seems fatal as the family presumes the role of woman is in the kitchen and she should only take care of household work. She should pick roti and chapatis and everything. The mother should cook, and the ladies should cook and cook. So, and the lack of education is a huge hindrance that is curbing the growth of women in societies. In town and urban areas, girls get education and secure good positions, but even then they are treated unequally or inferior to their male counterparts. Women are paid far less than they deserve to their male colleague for the same work just because of their gender. To actually empower women, this discrimination should be put to an end, and gender roles as to what jobs should be done and by whom should be is an individual choice and not the society's. The pressure are limitations by the society for women, to say the least. So, what should we do? So let's break free from this defined and limiting gender roles and start to live equal lives at home. So the next generation knows everyone is equal. Because it's tiring to hear that equality is still a dream. Is it upon us to make it reality? I end with prayers for all those who are sick around the world. May Allah give them health, and praying for the peace in the world. And for that, let us recite 5 times Amma Yujib for all the people who are sick in the world, who are in trouble. So let's recite 5 times Amma Yujib. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Amma Yujibul Mustara Iza Da'a wa Yakshifu Su. 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 Irhamna bi rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajah.
Thank you, Kanizanti, for that powerful speech. The last speech of the program, I'd now like to call upon Sister Fatemeh Zahra, who's a former employee of the Iranian Embassy. Please.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Respected elders, Khanum Armandi, Khanum Pirani, Mama Shamim, LNC Chair Lady, respected members of our community, and respected members and all invitees. Assalamu alaikum and a very good afternoon to you all. Considering the fact that it's already Salat time, I will cut down a lot of what I have to say so that we can fast forward this program. As we all know, we have gathered here today to celebrate the descending of a very pure lady, of a lady who is a role model in every aspect of life. In the short lifespan of Sayyida Fatemeh Zahra, salamullahi alayha, we see her as a perfect daughter, a perfect wife, a perfect social servicer, a perfect housemaster, a perfect mother. I don't need to say much because Chair Lady has spoken so much, alhamdulillah. My elders before me say that paradise lies under the feet of the mother. What I wanted to shed light on is, as Mama Shamim said, we have to work on it. So how does paradise come and lay under the feet of us ladies who become mothers? It does not just come by default or by proxy. What happens is that the lady has to shape her lifestyle in such a way that she follows the lifestyle of Sayyida Fatemeh Zahra, that she follows those role models and be a daughter like Sayyida Fatemeh was, a mother like Sayyida Fatemeh was, a daughter-in-law like Sayyida Fatemeh was, and when our character is such that our children follow our footsteps, they give out, and that's how paradise comes under our feet. As women, we sacrifice a lot for our families, and the highest form of sacrifice is that of a mother. Therefore, I'd like to read out a self-composed poem in Urdu for what mothers do. थाम के उंगलियां सब सिखाने लगी ये माँ, थाम के उंगलियां सब सिखाने लगी ये माँ, राह जिंदगी पे चलने बताने लगी ये माँ, 1, 12, 5, 14 रटवाने लगी ये माँ, 1, 12, 5, 14 रटवाने लगी ये माँ, जब ठोकरें पड़ी तब उठाने लगी ये माँ, तुम रोती थी तब साथ में गुड़िया को ना थी माँ, जब हंसती हो तो साथ में खुशहाल है ये माँ, तू जब न हुई थी कब करती थी तेरी हयात की दुआ, तू जब न हुई थी तब करती थी तेरी हयात की दुआ, कुरान पाक की तालीम तुझे करती थी अता, 2 बोल कर बाहर से सीख के आई हो भला, 2 बोल कर बाहर से सीख के आई हो भला, मतबूल जबान की ताकत तुझे देती रही ये माँ, मत अपने तजुर्बे पर करो, मत अपने तजुर्बे पर करो फख्र फातिमा, मत तजुर्बे पर करो फख्र फातिमा, आज भी नादे अली पर दम बढ़ती रहती है ये माँ, आज भी नादे अली पर दम बढ़ती रहती है ये माँ. As the famous 3 sayings go, charity begins at home, actions speak louder than words. And as the 3 sayings go, charity begins at home, light the candle in your house before you light it in the mosque, and actions speak louder than words. As mothers of the community, as ladies of the community, let the change begin from us. Let us be the change that we want to see in our societies. We want to see a lot of change. We want to see peace. We want to see control of anger. We want to see solace in our society. Let the change start from us, from our nafs. Let us be good daughters. Let us be good wives. Let us be good mothers. Let us please say the Fatemeh Zahra, and then we will see our children follow our footsteps. They will take it out, and that's how the society will gradually change. Last but not the least, I would like to send felicitations and congratulations on this very, very auspicious great day to the Holy Rasulullah, the Prophet of Allah, to Amir al-Mu'mineen, to the household of Sayyida Fatemeh, the Ahlul Bayt, then to all of us here, and to every person in the universe, for this lady is the lady who is a role model for the universe, for men and women alike. As Imam Hassan al-Askari has said, we are the proofs of Allah to the mankind, and Allah's proof over us is our grandmother Sayyida Fatemeh Zahra. Salamullahi alayha wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Wassalamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Okay, so the last thing we have in the agenda is the last thing on the agenda we have is recitation by the students of Imam Khomeini School. However, they're on their way; they haven't yet arrived. So I would like to just, take this opportunity to thank every single person who's come to this event today. Thank you to the reciters. Thank you, Allah Pirani, Sister Riziki, Sister Mariam Tambo, Sister Fatemeh Zahra, who has been working with this wonderful community since 2003. MashaAllah. That's great. To all of those, to everyone who's attended, to all our beloved guests. In Farsi, they say Khairi Khubi, Asanteni Sana, and I hope you all had a great day. We're just gonna wait for them.
जगह है कि क्या है जगह है
Sorry guys, we just 5 minutes more of your time, please. This is the last thing on the agenda. Can we just get the students up on the stage, please? Just to recite. Yeah. Can we welcome them with a loud salawat, please? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
So switch it off.
Yeah.
معلمم اولین مشبهم اینم از مهر تو بود طی عمر عاشقم اولین معلمم اولین مشبهم اینم از مهر تو بود طی عمر عاشقم
Thank you so much everyone for attending this program. Special thank you to Tanis by the Ramsey and everyone else who's attended. Thank you so much.
Kita ni aku.